Yeah,
love it.
hell yeah.
It'd be funny. Like, we talk about various topics. What should our first topic be about? Anyway, this was a New Year's Eve party, okay? And let's put it this way, we spent over $300 on alcohol. Because we went all out for this thing, right? So we had it over at one of my friend's girlfriend's house. And on the way over there, we fit 13 guys into a Neon. Which is just a really, really tiny car. And we had 4 people inside the trunk. So, when we were on the way to the party, we got pulled over by the police. Right? So, yes, exactly. So, the driver was talking to the police, just like, oh yeah, no, it's all good, right? So the cop was about to let us go, but then he noticed we had a flat tire. So he's like, oh, just pop the trunk and get the spare. And the driver was just like, no man, I can't do that, I don't have the spare inside the trunk. And then the cop's just like, oh, okay, here you guys go. And then at that exact moment, the driver's dad drove by and saw his son being pulled over by the cops. I said, oh yeah, just pop the trunk and get the spare, right? So he popped the trunk, and when he was popping the trunk, my friend Nick got completely naked. And when the cop opened the trunk, Nick jumped out naked and started running saying, "You'll never catch me." So then the cops started writing our names down, stuff like that, and the car got impounded. And then he said, alright, we're gonna take you guys home. So we're calling more police cars. And then it's like, no, we'll just get a taxi home. So like, okay. So we get a taxi van and we do the exact same thing as the taxi, but on the way to the party. And then when we get to the party, okay, it's just a really, really fun time. And my friend Dan, he's Mexican, and he's just crazy. He got so hammered, he couldn't even think. So he was crawling up a bunk bed, and then Nick kicked him off, and he crawled back up a bunk bed, and Nick kicked him off, and then he crawled up the bunk bed one more time, and he started crawling across the bunk bed, and he started to fall over off the bunk bed. So what he does is he leaps off the bunk bed and hits the girl's TV on the counter. The dresser falls, and then the TV falls, and the board on the bunk bed swings out and hits Sammy in the head and knocks her out. And then Dan's on the ground with Sammy passed out rubbing his nipples, and there's a cross-eyed cat drooling on him. And then later on that night, we had to take a piss. So the most legitimate thing we could think of, hey, let's go piss off the roof. So we get a bunch of guys up on the roof, we all line up, we start peeing off the roof. And this isn't like winter time around here, because we're in Canada, and it's all snowy and New Year's Eve, right? Son, all of a sudden, Sammy's dad came home, and we didn't really know. And Chris was just peeing, and his dad, Sammy's dad, walked under Chris's pee stream, and started completely out. So he got super mad at us for being on the roof, and then we went inside. And I'll tell you this, never ever ever have a lightweight at one of your parties, because I had to wash one of my friend's naked body. He threw up all over himself, so I put him in the shower and I just washed him all off. Like, I had to grab his penis and everything, just like clean them all off. And then Dan got sick on the car ride back to Chris's house, because we're about to spend the night. So Dan throws up in his jacket, and then eats it.
Oh my god.
He ate his own throw up. He's like... And then we get back to Chris's house, right? And we're locked out. So we're like, oh, we gotta get inside. So me and Nick, completely hammered, start crawling up the side of his house. And we just keep falling and falling and falling. So suddenly, Nick somehow jumped onto the balcony, and he crawled up and opened up the door. And then we got everybody situated to go down to sleep, then Chris's parents came over and said, like, let's party, right? So at this point in time, I already had a quart and a pint and a couple shots in there. And I was just, like, hammered solid, right? But, Chris's parents would not go to bed unless they get hammered too. So me and Nick had to take shots with them till 4 a.m. so everybody else could sleep. And in the morning, me and Nick woke up hammered. That was my New Year's.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.